In 1977, the world was dancing, but behind the velvet ropes of the disco, R&B groups were crafting the most painful soul music ever recorded.
We walk hand in hand.
From the sisterly harmonies that hid the darkest secrets, to the voices that turned a simple breakup into a spiritual collapse, these aren't just songs. They're the DNA of every heartbreak anthem you've ever cried to.
Girl, you know I've done all I can.
Today we're digging into the 10 group classics from 1977 that still hurt today.
Put your hand in mine. Talk.
At number 10, we have a group that knows exactly how much a heart can risk. In 1977, the Whispers turned a mid-tempo groove into a high-stakes plea for love.
Now I feel the friendship growing, each day it's growing.
Before they were dominating the 80s dance floor, the Whispers were the kings of the sophisticated soul ballad.
Love you, girl. And you know,
All the Way isn't just a love song, it's an ultimatum. With their signature silky smooth delivery and those tight West Coast harmonies, they captured the moment where just friends isn't enough anymore.
I don't want you to ever go nowhere.
It's the sound of a man standing at the edge, asking for everything or nothing at all.
You know, I know, you know my love is real.
Even with that steady rhythm, the longing in their voices still cuts deep nearly 50 years later. Have you ever risked it all for love? Tell us your story in the comments. At number 9, we're witnessing a breakdown in harmony. In 1977, the Dramatics took the Detroit sound and turned it into a 6-minute prayer for a second chance.
All was not lost today.
L.J. Reynolds and Ron Banks were the ultimate vocal duo. But on Be My Girl, they reached a new level of vulnerability. While most 77-foot tracks were moving toward the disco floor, this was a throwback to the raw, unpolished soul of the street corner.
I forgot their names.
The way the lead vocals trade off one grit, one silk, feels like a man trying every possible argument to keep his world from falling apart. It's a song that hurts because it sounds like a final conversation, wrapped in some of the most sophisticated vocal arrangements of the decade. At number 8, we're witnessing a soul in freefall.
And the sound of the rain.
In 1977, Rose Royce took us from the high of the dance floor to the absolute bottom of a broken heart.
Believe me, since you've been gone.
While they were known for the car wash groove, it was this ballad that proved their depth. Gwen Dickey's vocal performance is a masterclass in raw, unpolished pain.
I'm going down.
The way her voice cracks when she sings, I'm Going Down, feels like a literal descent into despair.
Down. I'm going down.
Backed by the band's moody, atmospheric production, it captured a vulnerability that most 70s groups were afraid to show.
What did I do wrong?
It's a song that hurts because it's honest. It's the sound of a woman who has run out of tears, but can't stop the fall.
I'm going down.
Decades later, it remains the ultimate anthem for when love finally lets go.
Me, I can't stop these tears from falling.
At number 7, we're looking at the loneliest perspective in soul music. In 1977, the Stylistics captured the exact moment you realize you're no longer part of the story. While the group was famous for their lush, romantic hits, this 1977 rendition of their classic vibe hit differently in the late 70s.
The owner of the first house on the
Russell Tompkins Jr.'s piercing falsetto doesn't just sing the lyrics, he inhabits them. It's a masterclass in vocal isolation. Backed by a sophisticated, almost cinematic arrangement, the song illustrates the devastating wall between us and them. It's the anthem for anyone who has ever stood on the sidewalk of a life they used to own, watching the lights stay on for someone else. Even with its beautiful exterior, the core of this track is pure, unadulterated coldness.
I'm just a man, an average man.
At number 6, we're climbing toward a love that's out of this world. In 1977, the OJs took the Philly sound to the very gates of heaven.
We're gonna find a pirate's treasure.
Forget the rock anthem. This is the definitive stairway. Produced by the legendary Gamble and Huff, this track is a masterclass in building emotional tension.
Oh, baby, here we go.
Eddie Levert's grit, paired with those flawless, soaring background harmonies, creates a sound that feels both grounded and celestial. It hurts because it's a plea for a love so pure it almost feels impossible to find on earth.
Closer, we find. Don't you wanna go? Don't you wanna go?
By the time the orchestration reaches its peak, you aren't just listening to a song, you're witnessing a man's soul reach for the light. It's the ultimate 70s slow burn that still leaves us breathless today.
Wanna make it.
At number 5, we're waking up to the coldest truth in Motown history.
You see a big stone.
In 1977, Lionel Richie and the Commodores gave us the ultimate anthem for the peace that comes after a total breakdown.
Why in the world would anybody put change?
While it dominated the pop charts, Easy is a masterclass in R&B melancholy. It's not a song about anger, it's about the exhaustion of trying to be what someone else wants. Lionel's vocal is deceptively smooth, but listen closer. It's the sound of a man who is easy because he's finally let go of the pain.
I'm easy like Sunday morning.
Backed by that stinging, soulful guitar solo and a steady, rhythmic heartbeat, it captured a sophisticated transition for the group.
That's why I'm easy.
It hurts because it reminds us that sometimes the hardest part of a breakup isn't the crying. It's the silence that follows when you finally walk away.
Seems to me, girl, you know.
At number 4, we're drifting into the stars.
I want you to float.
In 1977, the Floaters took the heartbreak of the street and turned it into a cosmic, psychedelic dream. Coming out of Detroit, Float On is a 6-minute masterclass in atmosphere. While it's famous for those legendary Zodiac intros, the true power lies in its vulnerability. Each member steps to the mic to offer a piece of himself, creating a soundscape that feels like a sanctuary.
Cancer.
It's the ultimate escapist love song. A track that hurts because it sounds like a man trying to find a peaceful place in a world that's falling apart around him.
You better flow with me now.
With its steady, underwater pulse and those ethereal background harmonies, it remains one of the most uniquely haunting moments of the late 70s.
And my name is Charles.
At number 3, we're witnessing a total surrender.
Feeling I had before.
In 1977, L.T.D. stopped the funk just long enough to give us the greatest love ballad ever recorded.
So right.
While the world knew them as a horn-heavy funk machine, Jeffrey Osborne's lead vocal changed everything.
Oh, it's much, much more.
Love Ballad is a masterclass in dynamic range, moving from a tender whisper to a powerful, soaring declaration of loyalty. It's the sound of a man who has finally found a love worth fighting for, but the vulnerability in his grit tells you he knows exactly how much he has to lose. Backed by a lush, cinematic arrangement that feels like a warm embrace, it became the gold standard for every R&B wedding song that followed.
What a difference!
It hurts because it's a level of devotion that feels almost too pure for the real world.
I never felt, never dreamed.
At number 2, we're hearing the sound of a heart breaking in real time. In 1977, Enchantment gave us the ultimate anthem for the one who got away. Hailing from Detroit, Enchantment brought a level of operatic drama to the R&B ballad. Gloria isn't just a song, it's a desperate search. E.J. Johnson's lead vocal is legendary, moving from a soulful growl to a sky-high falsetto that feels like a literal prayer. Backed by those lush, cinematic Detroit strings, the group creates a wall of harmony that wraps around his grief. It hurts because you can hear the exhaustion in his voice, the sound of a man who has called a name so many times it's become his only reality. It's the gold standard for the crying soul ballad. At number 1, we're entering a room where the truth is kept behind closed doors. In 1977, the Emotions gave us the most sophisticated, quiet heartbreak in R&B history. While the world was dancing to Best of My Love, this was the song that defined the late night hours. Produced by Maurice White, Don't Ask My Neighbors is a masterclass in subtlety. Wanda Hutchinson's lead vocal is deceptively calm, masking a deep, growing distance between two people who used to be one. The tight, sisterly harmonies don't just back her up, they build a wall of protection around her secrets. It's a song that hurts because it's so relatable. It's the sound of maintaining appearances while your world is quietly coming apart at the seams.
You're so unsure.
It's not just a ballad, it's a blueprint for every Quiet Storm classic that followed. Is this the greatest vocal harmony of the 70s? Let's settle it in the comments.